Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 31st of October. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Can you believe it's the 1st of November tomorrow, Gary?
It is, Phil. We're getting right into the spring now, aren't we?
Do you know what? 6 weeks to go. We're in the home straight. So we can see what's the racing term? We can see what's at the end of the...
Well, Flemington will be the clock tower, Phil.
The clock tower.
The
we can see the clock tower at the end
the
of
winning
the straight.
post, Phil.
And the winning post.
The clock tower,
and then it's all over to 2018. Gary, what an amazing weekend that's just passed. I know the viewers are thinking that all we're going to do is talk about the block.
And they're right. No, they're not right.
Let's put the block to the side for the moment and let's focus on what we do day in, day out, which is delivering exceptional results for our clients. What an amazing weekend. I've got to tell you, biggest weekend in Melbourne in the history of auctions.
Is that right? History has been made, Philip, and we were part of it. We said a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you remember, but we said on the show, this weekend that's just passed is going to be the true litmus test of the temperature of the market. This is going to be what it's all about. And I said, if we can get 60% plus, I think it's pretty good. But Philip,
the industry came in with a massive 70% across 2,000
well done
properties.
To the industry.
2,000 properties.
That's monstrous.
Massive.
So well done.
What clearance rate did we get, Gary?
Well,
was it 75? If the industry did 70, did we get 75?
Higher, Philip.
Did we get 80, Gary?
Higher, Philip.
Did we get 81?
Not quite.
Did we get 82%?
No.
Did we get 83?
No, we got more than that, Philip.
84, Gary?
No, we did
surely not 85.
85% clearance rate,
Wow.
Philip. 85.1% clearance it was on the maths, and that is just amazing.
But viewers, what's even more amazing, we did it out of 27 auctions, which is a phenomenal number of auctions for any agency for a year. But we did it in one weekend with 23 out of 27. So a shout out to all of our successful and happy vendors.
Well done to our team. Worked very hard, Philip.
They did. But the 4 unsold properties, we will not rest until they're sold.
And interesting you say that, Philip, because in our meeting yesterday, we reviewed all of our sales, and there were a number of sales of properties we passed in as well.
Correct.
So everything that doesn't get sold gets sold pretty well afterwards. But in excess of 85%, that is an awesome weekend on that volume. But not only was it great in terms of clearance, I'm proud of our team too, Phil. Not only is the clearance amazing, but what's really amazing is some of the incredible results that we had. I mean, looking through some of these results, Philip, and we start off in Horton Road in Oakley. We love it over there. Leo Samuel sold really well there for $985,000.
We're loving Oakley. I've got to tell you, the big surprise, Gary, about opening our Carnegie office is the amount of business we're now doing in Oakley and Clayton. So when we did the kind of forecast for opening an office there, we never included anything for Oakley.
We'll do Murrumbeena, we'll do Huntley, we'll have Ormond, but then all of a sudden these other, the ripple effect, Philip, went out there.
Very exciting.
What was exciting, Philip, was your auction at 18 Royal Parade. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Gary, this is a lovely story because this was an original Federation-style home that had been lived in by the same family for 50 years. We'd had a range there of 1.3 to 1.43, and the vendor said, look, if we could get somewhere in that range, we'd be delighted. On the day, they said, just to make our job a little bit more difficult, they'd give us a reserve at the top end of the range, which was fine. 1.43 was the reserve, Gary, and we smashed that out of the park and sold it for, what did we get it for? I've forgotten already.
$1,730,000, Phil. What a monster
$300,000 over the reserve price.
It was
massive
unbelievable,
result.
Phil. Very pleased with that one. While you were there, I was just up the road in Northern Avenue in Brighton East, Philip. Now, this very innovative townhouse. Really exciting result. Phil, the range was 9 to 990. The reserve was at the top of the range. A vendor, very, very delightful people, the vendors.
Well, a shout out to those vendors because they're young developers doing an amazing
exciting
job.
Innovative, and a pleasure to work with them.
I'm looking forward to doing more work with those people.
For sure, we're going to be. Well, it's interesting to say that because we've got next door coming up for auction. So there you go.
I was looking forward to it. I just didn't.
You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait long at all, Philip. But 27 Northern Avenue sold for $1,175,000. It was written up in the paper. It was a great result.
Sun, Gary.
It was indeed, and congratulations to the vendor and to the buyer, who was absolutely delightful. So congratulations all around, a fantastic property. Philip, Sunday was a thumping day as well. And by the way, just stay tuned. If you're not enjoying hearing about results, we've got some great block gossip coming up, some great block news. But let's move on in a minute. 102 at 426 Hawthorne Road, Philip. That was a very competitive auction. I met Nikki and Lamore there. Sold that for $719,000. 3 bidders fighting it out for an apartment. And I've got to say, Phil, when there was a time we thought some of the new apartments, maybe they won't be so popular, But have a look at this one, Phil. 3 bidders sold well excess of reserve, which was at the top of the range.
Tremendous result there. And a shout out to Lamore, who had handled that property. Did a great job.
She did, and Nikki, and it was a great job. And Philip, we had a reserve in and around the top of the range, which was 650, sold for 719, an awesome result. 2 at 1 Month Street, well, we did call that as being one of the most popular properties.
A massive crowd there, and I hear you had a massive number of bids.
Massive number of bids, went forever, long, hot auction, loved every minute of it. Expected somewhere around 650 to 700 on that property,
How
Philip.
difficult was Saturday's weather conditions? Viewers, if there's anything auctioneers hate...
Sunday, you mean?
Sunday. If there's anything auctioneers hate, it's heat combined with wind. Hot, dusty, windy day.
You know, I don't know.
People were coughing and spluttering. Luckily, we've got 2 coffee vans who are absolutely keeping the water up to everybody.
Well, I had one auction in Elstree, and I was like choking. I had to get some water into me during that one. That was a tough one, Phil. But Month Street went on forever. A great
I hear
result.
your first bid was over the reserve price.
You know, Phil, the first bid was $751,000, and it actually was the ultimate buyer who bought it for $860, $8.5. What an incredible price. They were the first and last bidder, very well spirited. First bid, bang, it was on the market. We did get certainly a lot of interest.
I think it's worth having a bit of a chat about when we say record prices, because a lot of the buyers of these properties are watching, and you know, what's their view when they hear that they've been the ones that have created a record price. And I'd just like to put our buyers' minds at ease. Every record price gets broken. And the reality is it's generally the really good properties that do create record prices.
Well, Philip,
and particularly when you back it up with all of the competition. How many buyers did you have on that?
We had 7 buyers. I think 7. We had 6 or 7 bidders. It was just nuts. But you know, you talk about record prices, and you know, we're going to review this home, of which I live only a few doors down from.
You do.
And when
Can't wait to give everybody the address to your property. And I would say that when we do give your address away, Gary, Gary and Hannah, lovely Hannah that she is, she's the most hospitable person. I would say anybody that wants to drop over for a cup of tea, a sandwich, a piece of cake, even dinner.
He does this all the time.
Hannah is a little bit shy, and she doesn't like asking people over, but she's delighted when they drop over unannounced.
You're just so annoying. Anyway, when I bought the block of land across the road from here, Philip, I paid a record price too.
Gary.
And look,
and sooner or later, the price will catch up.
And it will in the next 10 or 15 years. Phil, 2 at 1 Month Street again.
When your grandchildren sell your house, they'll finally get the capital back that you paid there.
Isn't that great? 60 Barindi Road. Now, Phil, talking about properties going through the roof, this was undisclosed, but I could say, because there's no reason not to disclose this, it sold for some $400,000 above the reserve. Now, you know, it's extraordinary though. You look at a place like that and you think, well, it sold for, you know, what appears to be a premium. But every time a property sells in a great street like Barindi Road, you always look back and say, you know, it seemed like a lot at the time.
And I want to make this point again.
What a
Gary.
great buy.
When we get a record price, it's because of strong bidding competition.
And Philip, it's a record property that brings a record price.
Which means that there were 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 or 6 people bidding, which says something about, and it's interesting, isn't it, that often we find that properties that are popular, when they resell, they're popular again. It's the ones that aren't popular, generally that theme carries on as well.
I agree with that. You're
right.
Don't
be shy to pay a record price, because ultimately when you come to sell, particularly if you resell the property through Gary, Peer and Associates, you're more likely to get a record price.
Well, I agree with all of that. I don't often agree with what you say, because much of what you say is foolish, but that was wise, Philip.
Foolish?
Yeah, foolish. 20 Latrobe Street, Philip. Let's move on to that one.
Shout out to Michael, who's our vendor
Michael,
there. He would have to be one of our favourite clients.
And they watch, the whole family watch.
This is a man that I really enjoy, not only seeing but selling for. He's a terrific guy, and I've got to tell you, he's got the biggest hands. When I shake his hand, his hand just wraps around my hand, and I feel scared. And that's why we work so hard for him.
I know. The same thing with I saw him because I was the auctioneer. I shook his hand when I came in, and again, he's just swallowed it up. I thought, better get a big result here for Michael and family. Anyway, well done to them. They got a great result, and we've been employed by them many times, and we'll never take them for granted. We love them for that. Thank you and congratulations. Moving on, again, Philip, let's talk about 4A Turner Avenue, undisclosed but sold well above the range.
That did go.
Delightful vendors again, so pleased for them. How many bidders did you have for that, Phil?
I had, we had 2 strong bidders there.
I think you had another
there
one
was
or
a
two in the
third
background,
and a
yeah.
fourth that didn't have a chance to come into the auction, but it was opened by the ultimate buyer also opened the property in terms of first bid, and he bid strongly for it. He was determined to get it.
Moving on to Elswick, Philip, 6 at 24 Charles Street, Elswick, undisclosed. The price range was 4 to 440. The first bid was beyond that, Philip.
And
it sold
a really
under
good
competition,
apartment, apparently.
Yeah. Great job there for Joe by Jody English. Congratulations. Phil, one of the wrap-up sales of the weekend was at 17 Stradbroke Avenue in Brighton East. We love it in Brighton East. We're doing really well there.
We do a lot of work in Brighton East.
We sure do,
It's
Phil.
interesting, isn't it? Because I reckon when we do the market share graph of Brighton East, we're standout players there.
We are. Well, that's one of 2 or 3 sales we've made this week, but well done to Jeremy Rosens and Daniel Mickmacker, who had the most incredibly competitive auction, expecting somewhere around 1.6 or thereabouts, Philip. Sold for $2,155,000.
Which is a massive price.
Which is a massive price. The house has actually been sold a few years ago. I think we sold it for about 1.3 or thereabouts, maybe 3 or 4 years.
It was vacant land. It was vacant land this time with a permit for 3 townhouses.
Well, that's right. That adds a lot of value.
Yeah,
exactly right. And just goes to show how much the market's moved.
Not so easy to get a permit in the city of Bayside, is it,
Correct,
Gary?
Philip. And certainly when you're talking about the city of Bayside, we finished our auction in Hartbury Avenue in Elwood, Philip. That one was sold.
Which was not the city of Bayside, Gary. It was the city of Port Phillip. But good attempt at a segue, stuffed up badly. Lucky I sit in this position to be able to clean up your stupid little errors.
Yeah, well, thanks for pointing it out. I've called you foolish. You're telling me about stupid errors. A lot of respect going on in this show, isn't there? 6 Hartbury Avenue, Philip, in the city of
Port Phillip.
sold for $2 million.
But I suppose Port Phillip is on the bay,
Well,
therefore you were really saying it is in a property that's Bayside.
Now you get a cover for me, isn't it? Great. Oh, thanks for that, Phil. Anyway, you did a good job. Sold for $2,290,000.
I've got to tell you, it was the funniest auction because we've got this couple with 3 of the most gorgeous little children that we gave those Lindt chocolates to.
Yes.
And we've got this nice kind of
rapport,
banter going on.
Yes.
And I said to him, you know, this is a great opportunity to find a house for your lovely children. And he looks at me and says in front of the entire crowd, lovely, I reckon they're ghastly.
That's right, yeah, it was very funny. He was a good bloke and he wasn't the buyer in the end, was he? He was the underbidder.
No, and not only that, but when I went up to him afterwards, he says, they're not even my children.
Oh, is that right? Wow, there you go. Phil, great auction, great results. Sold for $2,290,000. Well done to Daniel Reese, Daniel Mickmacker and team. Congratulations. So lots of other things now. We've got a couple of community announcements. Firstly, I just want to say a cheerio, Philip, to Morris Fedida, who has been through some really. He's a young man in his teens.
How old is he?
Morris, I think 17 or 18. A young man in his teens. Who's had some very significant health challenges, Philip. He's just had an operation, he's had surgery. It has been successful, but he's out of business for a little while.
So he's catching up on reruns of GPTV.
Exactly right. Well, that's the good thing. If you're going to be on your back and you're going to be stuck, well, Morris, if
you're looking for a speedy recovery from any illness or
and for all those people who are watching in hospital right now,
this is this show. It's like a magic.
It's like a medicine, Phil.
It's like a magic
exactly right.
Antidote.
Cures anything. Cures everything, Phil. It doesn't matter what it is. But Morris has been through a really tough time and he comes from the best family in the world, the Fedida family. So just want to say a cheerio to Morris because I know he does watch the show and he's one of our younger audience.
And we hope you get better soon and that you will come out of this whole thing stronger and even more engaged.
Exactly right. And I know that he's sitting there in St Vincent's and I know that there's probably some lovely nurses there that are looking after him well.
He may well be playing up the illness.
Exactly right, Philip. Could well be if I know Morris. So congratulations on the success of the surgery and get well soon. We talked a bit about horses, Philip. Well, Phil, you
viewers,
just might want to bring up horses.
All I can say is the reality is the Peer family, the entire Peer family, have lost a great deal of their fortune through their gambling tendencies.
You know, it's a good way to make a small fortune, Philip, is you start with a big one and get involved with racing.
Finally, Gary has got a horse that has got some chance of finishing a race. But somehow, through. I mean, I've got to tell you, if you
race.
didn't think the racing industry was all manipulated, this is a classic case, because your horse does not deserve to even get out of the stables and onto the horse floats.
There's a bit of horse envy going on.
Let alone you finally cracked a horse that is going to run in the Oaks. The Oaks.
Yeah, the Oaks Day,
This is
Phil.
the most
It's called the Oaks
absurd
Day
thing.
because there's a race called the Oaks.
Yeah.
It's a ladies' day
So-
because all the horses are female horses.
So
for the
you've
Oaks.
got a female horse.
I've got a beautiful 3-year-old grey filly.
I
Phil.
reckon you've got
And
you've got
that
a
beautiful
stallion that's just dressed up in drag for this race. Sure, that there's no chance that you've got
Why would you even think
because
that?
you've got
That says more about you being creepy than about the horse.
Because if we work into the block, the segue to the block, and we'll come back to your horse.
What's the block got to do with people dressing in drag?
Because I had, for the first time, despite all of your bagging on me on the show, I actually had makeup on.
Oh, you always have makeup on. You put it on. You've always got makeup
That's
on.
why I talked about
Well,
your
jump
horse
around.
in drag. But anyway, coming back to
How
it.
are they connected? A horse and you in makeup. How are they connected?
The reality,
You're
the
sick.
reality is
He's sick.
you've got a horse that's running in the Oaks. What's it called, Gary?
It's called Philip. We've talked about it in the show, and it's
What
disappointing
is
how
it?
little
Is that
attention
a
you pay.
refill something? or
No,
other,
that
isn't
was
it?
the race was called the Ethereal. It didn't get a run in that, but it ran in Geelong Classic, Philip. Against all the
Geelong
blokes.
Classic.
No. These long classics are lead up to the Derby of the Oaks, Philip.
Right.
It stormed home for
Yes.
fourth at
Well,
30
what's
to
its
1.
name?
Its name is Reliable Dame, Philip.
I thought it was Trigger.
No,
Didn't
I
you
did
have a horse called
I had
Trigger?
a horse called Trigger. I love that.
So it's
You know whose
reliable-
horse Trigger was?
I had when I was growing up on a farm, I had a horse called
Because
Trigger.
Roy Rogers had Trigger. That was the
Okay.
name of Roy Rogers' horse.
Get back to this stupid horse.
It's not stupid,
what's
Phil.
its name?
Its name is Reliable Dane, and I've got to say,
Where's the who
it's
came up with the
because
name?
its father is called Reliable Man, which is a very, very, very good French staying stallion that I think
Yeah, but
won
where's
the Arc
the
de
dame
Triomphe.
part come into it?
Because it's a female, so it's a dame.
Oh, Dame.
my- Dame.
I thought it was a reliable Dane, as in D-A-N-E.
You thought it was Danish,
I
did you?
thought-
A Danish horse.
Well,
It was responding to Danish
anyway,
instructions.
You've got a horse.
Yeah.
It's going to run in the Oaks.
It is.
It's got no chance of winning. What are the bookies backing it at the moment?
It's fifth in the betting, Philip.
Fifth.
Yeah.
What's a race with five horses?
No,
the
it's
Oaks?
not a race with 5. It was a race with, well, it could be 11 horses, but it's in it up to its eyeballs. Now, I was so excited on...
So are you tipping our viewers that they should put money on this?
Well, if you let me finish, I was so excited after Geelong. It got slashed from 30 to 1 to like 9 to 1 right,
Yeah.
after that race. And I thought, here we go, we're off to the Oaks. So on Saturday, I just happened to tune into the last race at Moonee Valley, where a horse called Aloysia,
Aloysia?
right? Aloysia ruined my life, Philip, because what happened was Aloysia, which is also a filly running the Oaks,
Yeah.
blew away an open field of male and female horses and won by like 3 lengths.
Yeah.
And now is the $1.70 favourite for the Oaks and has distressed me.
So
Philip.
in all
Yeah.
seriousness, do you think you've got a chance?
Well, there's Aloysia, there's Gay Waterhouse's horse called Pinot.
Yeah.
And,
Pinot?
with a T,
Pinot, isn't
with
that
a
the
T at the
fruiter
end.
from the Brown Market?
It is, but it's still got a T like a wine, Philip Pinot. And we are 50
Viewers,
betting.
if you want the best fruit and the most expensive fruit, but it's expensive for a
Yeah.
reason because it is the best. I
Why are
mean,
we
since
talking
when?
about fruit? Get
Since
back to
when
my horse.
is the best?
I've never had a horse run
Since
like-
when is the best the cheapest?
This one,
But if you
yeah.
want to go to Pinot at the Paran Market, the fruit
Go and
and
see Johnny
vegetables
and the team.
is unbelievable.
We're going everywhere today.
You just have to mortgage your house or sell your kidney to be able to afford his
Right.
prices.
Well, they come
But-
to our place with
but-
a few boxes of fruit. They
but-
take a chair.
but
They
the
take a painting.
But the fruit
payment.
and the
yes.
vegetables, unbelievable.
Okay,
Anyway, back
so-
to can we get off your horse now?
Oh, I'm not getting on. I'm on my horse, and so is many of people in Australia, Philip, because it is one of the it's a 4th or 5th favourite for the Oaks. So watch out for Reliable Dame, that beautiful grey filly. Cheer it
Seriously,
on.
if you win,
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah.
prize?
It's pretty substantial. I don't mind saying, Phil. The Milky Bars are on me.
What-
Wins,
what
I
is
don't
the-
mind
what is the
saying.
prize?
Well, let's suffice to say it's $1 million race, Phil.
Is it $1 million race?
it's
So
$1 million
first
race.
prize is $1 million.
I haven't got it. Well, no, it's not quite like that because it gets split up. So it's $650,000 for first prize, and the jockey gets 50. Then all the expenses. You come out with about $8,000, and I've got 10%. So I'll probably be able to get. I'll get the train home.
And who trains this horse?
Anthony Friedman.
Is he any
Yeah.
good? Is
well,
this one of the Friedman
Yeah,
brothers?
it's one of the Friedman brothers,
Jeez,
Philip.
You've really become big time now, haven't you?
big
with-
time, Phil. You know how many hacks and
What
nags
this
I've
must
had.
be costing you.
Well, don't
I've
worry,
got
Philip.
No
We've got
wonder,
our
no
horse.
wonder we need 27 auctions in the weekend just to keep yours.
Well, we've got our horse that we own together, One Man
Okay, I
Grand,
think we've
which
done-
is running up in the Sunshine Coast, Philip, for
we've done-
trying to come 5th
we've
or
done
6th.
horses.
Okay,
Let's
let's
get back to
Let's
real
talk
estate.
to firstly where we are, then we've got to talk about the block, and then we've got to go. Philip, firstly, let's talk about this house. Here we are, Philip, in Club Med Caulfield North. I mean, does it get better
First of all,
than
the
this?
quick introduction
Yeah.
to this house is as far as Gary Pira is concerned, given the fact that he lives in the street,
Yep.
Glencoe is the #1 street in Caulfield
#1.
North.
#1.
Now, we can
Yeah.
choose not to debate that. One thing I would say, if it's not #1, it's definitely one of the best streets of Caulfield
see that.
North.
It's one of the best.
Okay. This house, having said that, absolutely kills your house, makes your house look like a piece of rubbish.
Thanks so much
because
for that,
this
Phil.
house is
Yeah, thank you.
extraordinary.
Yes, it's
I've
not a
got to-
competition,
I've
Phil.
got
The
to-
block's over.
I've got to tell
Yeah.
you, this house is amazing. It really is Club Med, Caulfield North, but with a refinement of edge of perhaps the Four Seasons Hotel.
Yep.
Because this is a home that if you buy this, you will not have to ever book another holiday. It comes with a half court.
Yes.
So that could be a basketball court, it can be badminton, it can be just a wonderful soccer pitch. It just adds a dimension to this house that you won't see anywhere else. The house inside has been renovated from the front door to the back fence. And when I say renovated, it was a relatively contemporary home to start with, but the owners said, no, it's not good enough. We're going to give it a massive overhaul. And I think that they've changed absolutely every surface.
Yep.
The timber floors here are sublime, Gary. The use of granite, the use of marble, the attention to detail here, whether it be even the toilets and the basins, the
masonry is
tapware,
incredible.
they've even changed the hinges on the
Yeah,
door.
yeah.
Gary, the kitchen, it's like a showroom of kitchens.
Yeah.
The swimming pool, the back garden is an oasis. I cannot talk highly enough about this house, Gary, because it really is one of the best offerings we've ever had the chance to put to the marketplace.
Barring the neighbours, Philip, it's pretty faultless, isn't
Yes.
it, really? It is a spectacular home, Philip, no question about it. The quality's
The
here.
good news
There's
is,
been
too,
no expense
by the way,
spared.
the Peer children are now over that hump
Yeah.
of where they're having house parties, and they're now becoming a little bit more sophisticated. So
Little,
the street
yeah.
has actually re-emerged now as
good
not only a
news-
great street, but an incredible.
The good news about this
incredible
house,
street.
Philip, it's so well built, and it's
Yep.
just that bit further away that you won't hear the parties. But Philip, it is one of the best homes that we've ever had the privilege of selling. It is exceptional. We're selling it by way of
Expressions of interest campaign.
So if you haven't been here yet, please call Sally and Darren and the team. Get yourself over here because this is an outstanding property. We're so excited
It is.
to be
Now,
representing it.
speaking of outstanding properties,
Yeah.
Gary,
Okay.
the block.
Well, let's get into it, Phil. The block it's been a run and won, much like we're going to see the Oaks Thursday week. But Philip, it has been run and won.
And second year in a row, Gary,
Yep.
we've come in at #2. We didn't manage to pull off the
We
actual
were
win.
very confident that we weren't going to win, weren't we? Really,
Well,
we didn't think.
we
We thought
knew-
Josh, and you gave a little dig on your head. He's a wanted man, this guy, by the way. I think that they might have had a fatwa out on you. Phil.
Josh and
is there,
Elise-
is there a fatwa you can have?
Suffice to say, the winners of the show are not talking to me.
No.
In fact,
You're not
Jeremy
their
Rosens
favourite.
went up to Josh after
Yeah, and said,
the
"Well
show
done,
and
mate."
said
Yeah.
congratulations,
Yeah.
to which Josh
Snarled.
paid out on him for certain things that the auctioneer of Gary Peer and Associates, who
Oh,
will
the
remain
auctioneer, oh, yeah,
nameless,
okay, yeah.
had to say. But we almost got there, Gary. We
Yeah.
almost got there.
Well, look, the big deal is to congratulate Jason and Sarah. Look, the actual incredible story about this, Philip, is that the person who bought Jason and Sarah's
Yes.
home was a buyer that was produced by us,
Yes.
through us,
Yes.
from our database,
Was a-
who we brought there,
correct.
who we know. So it's
it
quite
was
an
not a
interesting story.
manufactured construct of reality television. It was a real person
Yeah.
that we introduced from our
Exactly
database.
right.
So well done to Jeremy Rosens and the
absolutely,
team.
and to our team,
But Jason and Sarah, what a lovely couple they are. And it was really quite humbling to get them that result.
Yes, they are a
because
really nice couple.
the result that we got them made a massive difference to
Yeah.
their life.
And that's where the block is awesome, you
Yeah,
know, because with all of the hoo-ha aside, all the commercial, nonsense that goes with it, or the fanfare, the reality is that we have been part of something that has changed some people's lives, that have had their challenges financially in life,
Yeah.
that have got good family people with 3 lovely kids. So from that point of view, so pleased for Jason. We're going to go out and celebrate with
We
them,
are,
Philip.
we are, Gary. Having said that, I just want to also just have a quick chat about the show.
Yeah.
The five
it's a great
houses,
show.
the 5 houses were all incredible.
Yeah, well done to all the contestants.
So
Yeah.
the reality is that all 5 of them could have won the show. They're all good enough. And, you know, we're pretty harsh judges, but I've got to tell you that having been through all the houses, they were all incredible. And, you know, as an estate agent, if we could get one of those houses to sell, you know, we'd be doing backflips. I mean, take the show aside, you know, as an agent just walking through the door to give somebody an appraisal. If you walk through that door just on the basis of there being one house, you'd be going, wow, this is absolutely incredible.
Why do you have glasses in your hand? Why are you holding those in your hand?
Because just in case. Well, actually,
what are you doing?
You know the truth.
Well,
the truth. No, I'm not.
There's some sort of nervousness. I think behind that veneer of cool, I think you're quite a nervous person.
I'm quite insecure. There's no question. Well, you're my therapist now, but I'm holding.
Just sit back a bit further.
I'm holding these glasses, Gary, because it gives me a sense of earnest, respectability, and intelligence. All of those three things you are lacking from your own life.
Well, Ernest,
Ernest was your father.
Ernest was my father, so stay away from him. Respectability, well, good luck with that, and intelligence, well. Anyway, the block was a great success.
It was
Congratulations.
a great success.
I felt sorry for some of the other contestants that didn't do as well as our guys and Josh and Elise.
The other three contestants didn't do as well because they didn't use Gary.
Don't
and
go
associates.
there.
And of
Don't
course,
like
I'm
that, Philip.
thinking
It's
about
bad
having
karma.
a crack, but I'm not.
No, you won't
because
do that.
Essentially, this is a show about health and happiness.
Health and happiness. Yeah, well done. Congratulations to Julian Cress and the team at Channel 9 who continue to put on the most
It's the number one rating show in Australia.
I think that was probably it, Phil. It'll be up there probably with the grand final in terms of people. And, you know, it was so good to have it in our area, in Elsternwick and Caulfield, the areas that we're passionate about and love and have, you know, built our business over 30 years. And great to see in the crowd, our clients, a number of them also interested in considering it. So,
and in conclusion, really, to wrap up the block, it was great to be not only involved, but it was great to be the agency that actually sold the block.
That's right. To
the block of land in Elsternwick.
Yeah. So we sold the block of land to them. We sold to a client who we dealt with, who had been to other homes of ours in Elsternwick. So congratulations to Channel 9, and it was great to be involved. And
so
thank
Gary,
you Jason and Sarah for asking for us. A number of contestants did.
Melbourne Cup weekend, no auctions.
No auctions
there'll be some auctions in Melbourne, but we'll go from 2,000 last weekend probably to a few hundred auctions in Melbourne. It is a weekend where the industry takes stock and
a bit of a breather, Phil.
Surges. So once we've got the long weekend out of the way, then we've got, I think it's 6 weekends till the end of the year, and they're going to be monster weekends.
They sure are, Phil. Some great footage of the block. Perhaps we'll fit it in if we've got a few moments to follow. But that is a big wrap on GPTV. We'll look forward to seeing you next week on Melbourne Cup Day, Philip. Just a couple of days before.
I won't be here, Gary. You'll be doing it with somebody else.
Oh, is that right?
I'm going up to Surfers for the weekend.
Oh, good on you. Well, you have a wonderful time. I'll be doing it with someone else. I'm looking forward to that, Philip. I might get Jeremy Roses to come on and talk a bit about the block because I know he's been so involved.
Absolutely.
And I know we've got some more interesting interviews to do with the block as well. So there is more block news to happen and to come. But that's a big wrap. You have a good break, Philip. I hope you get to a TAB or to a television to watch the race on Oaks Day next Thursday, which Reliable Dane
Just in case it does
win.
win, in all seriousness. How much money are you going to make out of this?
Not that much, Philip, because by the time it all gets cut, you know, and reduced or whatever, and by the time I look at what I've spent, by the time I look at the horse, and you know, not much. That's the answer. But it's the prestige, Philip, because you get the Oaks. I don't know if it's a plate or a trophy or a bracelet or if it's a glass.
And have you worked out? Will you be the one that's making the acceptance speech?
I don't think so. I think that'll have to be one of the more involved and intelligent.
I'll fly down
owners.
and make it on your behalf.
Thanks very much. Go Reliable Dane. We look forward to seeing you on GPTV next week. Without him, the week after, back with him. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic Cup weekend.
And good luck.